Welcome everyone. Today we have an updated version of the strongest sources build for Season 5. And of course over here we're learning from Makuna, and which I'll introduce and also update the build learning from him. Looking behind me, he has just cleared tier 8 of the Infernal Horde. And oh boy, looks easy. So looking behind me, this is a very powerful single target damage and also insanely good AoE build for the sources. And he has updated a few of the gears, and me and my friends have also testing in a variety of different versions of this particular build for you guys to play with all stages of the game. And as you can see, he just cleared the Infernal Horde with close to 600 of the shards over here. And if you want to have a look at his replays and also guides, you can see on his YouTube channel, which he shared the latest build. It is amazingly fast, and he basically mows through everything, doesn't have any survivability problems, and deals tons of damage with this particular combo. Now I'm sure you guys might have heard of this build, and if you haven't, I'll briefly explain the build, then we go into the updates of the different variants of the builder's guide and what are the strongest build for this version. So what's happening is he is using at least 2 Uber Uniques with Harlequin's Crest and also with Tyr's Might, which allows him to shoot arrows as he attacks enemies. He is stacking critical rate and also critical damage, and especially critical damage, so he can deal even more damage with a 2-handed weapon crafted for additional summons of the Lightnings. And this is actually triggered multiple times because he's summoning multiple spells with Frozen Orb. So this build is insanely powerful with low cooldowns, with high damage, with insane amount of spams and super fast AoE and also single target clear. Now if you guys come over to the builder's guide, you can see the first version Makuna shared, the second version without Uber Uniques, which is a Chain Lightning variant, and also the third version Makuna shared with updates to the gloves. And then we also have another version that me and my friends has been testing, which provides you guys with lower cooldowns and less mana issues, almost infinite manas with this new setup. So before we jump over to the builder's guide, a big thank you and also credits for Makuna for sharing, and he does have his own build on more abilities, and of course credits to him for making such a wonderful build. So make sure you check out his live stream and also his YouTube channel to follow the latest update for the sources, and he is usually the fastest with the best sources build in the game. So coming over to the updated version Makuna shared. Now before we dive into the particular version, keep in mind guys, if you watch his live stream, you can see that in the game he's already testing and also trying out different items, including changing the gloves and also changing the pins. So it is likely this is not going to be the final version, but there will be testings. And if you have a look at his builder's guide, he is showing different gears and he hasn't had time to craft and also to show what is required for those gears. So the builder's guide shows the tablet well, but on the particular replays as he was testing, he stopped using the unique pins as well. So there's a lot of changes that will be coming. Now if you haven't seen this particular build, I'll be referring back to the builder's guide we had earlier, which I explained a lot. So make sure you come over to the video in the links below or from the builder's guide, have a look at this particular build for the explaining of choice of skills, gears, and also affixes and also Paragon. We'll jump directly to the changes. So what you can see is the previous build was using Fist of Feet. Now this particular gloves provide tons of lucky hit chance, and this is very powerful in crowd controlling and also disabling enemies, especially bosses, for staggering. Now in order to get higher damage, Makuna has favored to have a legendary gloves crafted, and this allows him to have higher attack speed, more critical chance, and especially higher crafted and also greater effects of critical damage. So this is the biggest change that enabled him to do tier 8 with Infernal Horde. Now of course during this time, most of his gears are level 12 and fully master crafted. And on the second part, we're looking to the powers of how to craft those mastercraft items and how to become even stronger. Now in terms of the skill trees and also Paragon, the tier 8 Infernal Horde version has not changed much. So if you guys want to build for late game, it's better to start picking up those gloves, and those gloves will become very expensive as most classes will want those stats. Now coming over to our fourth variant. This is the variant me and my friend has been discussing, and we want to solve a few of the issues some players might have. We're still using the old Fist of Feet because this provides us with a massive lucky hit chance. And during this time, we're actually using 3 Uber unique items with Harlequin's Quest, Tyr's Might, and also Ring of Starless. A lot of friends has reported that they are unable to get enough mana, and this Uber unique does solve your mana issues together with the ability to give you additional damage as you spend maximum resource. And this actually stacks up multiple times to provide you with a massive resource cost reduction and even higher damage. But the downside, of course, is that you are sacrificing additional frozen orbs, and also you're not getting those crafted additional effects with critical chance and also especially with critical rate. So in this new version, you can consider using the Ring of Stardust should you find yourself with any mana issues, and this will be the biggest change. We have also changed the skill trees a little bit to adjust for additional mana issues and also more cooldowns. So let's have a look at the skill trees over here. 1 point is allocated into elemental attunement, which allows you to have a chance, lucky hit chance, to reduce your cooldowns every 10 seconds. And this can be very good to reduce your cooldown even further. I do have some video footages and also replays which I want to show you as we test with my account and also different accounts with this particular build. I was able to do tier 100 Nightmare Dungeon around level 80, and it's insanely fast with this particular setup, and it deals a lot of damage with super low cooldowns. Now as we keep going through the skill trees, if you still find yourself with short of energy and also you don't have the Ring of Stardust, investing more points with Crackling Energy providing more mana can also help you solve the issue. And those together with the Ring of Stardust should help you have infinite mana. And now that we solved the mana issue, let's come over to my character. Oh, I actually died. I don't even know how I died. Let's come over to my character. Let's try to solve the cooldown issue. So before I go into the cooldowns, if you have a look at my teleport, it is around 6.6 second cooldown, with 11 seconds with Flame Shield. If I take off Harlequin's Quest, all of a sudden teleport is about 12 seconds and Flame Shield is about 18 seconds. So this particular item is the source of the biggest cooldown reduction. And you might have noticed, yes, you want to be master crafting into the cooldown reduction. Now, there are two things. One thing is, you guys might be thinking, hey Matt, how are you getting all of the Uber unique items? Which I'll be making a video very soon to teach you guys how to get those items and then how to master craft onto the right stats. Now, briefly explaining about master crafting. So what I was doing is, I was resetting every 4 levels if I don't get a cooldown reduction. And once I get the right one on the first 4 levels, I'll go to level 8 and try my luck again. This takes on average 16 tries, so you will need a lot of resource, and I'll be teaching you guys how to get more resource and also how to prepare for this version as well. So those 2 videos, the master crafting and also how to get more unique items, will be coming very soon to teach you guys how to get the loots and how to do things in Season 5 to achieve the endgame super fast. And stay tuned for those. So in summary, on the final version of testing, you can adjust for the mana issues using Ring of Stardust and also changing some of the skills in the skill trees. You can also help with your cooldowns by going for this particular passive and then trying to mastercraft your Harlequin's Quest with massively lower cooldown reduction for all of your skills. So now coming over to my replays for tier 100 Nightmare Dungeon as I was leveling up my glyphs, and let me briefly explain some of the highlights for this build. As you guys can see, my mana is pretty much maxed out, and because I have so much low cooldown, as I summon more conjunctions, I gain even more mana regen and also even more movement speed. I can be constantly keeping up my defensive spells for rotations and also for mobility and also additional barrier. This also increases my damage. Now brief highlight of the skill rotations and also tips for this build. What you want to do is, you want to be constantly summoning your lightning spears, and then as you travel through the map, you want to have your defensive spells in rotation. And what that really means is, as you cast your defensive spells, you'll be gaining barriers. And you don't have to be too shy or too conservative to use your Flame Shield. Because the Flame Shield can be used in rotation for defensive spells, you actually can use that quite frequently. Especially having lower cooldowns, it has a chance of getting resetted with lucky hit chance, and this makes you even more defensive. Now you can use your ultimate wherever you want to have a form of burst energy, and casting ultimate will also help you restore mana as you cast random spells, which in return become conjunction spells that gives you even more mana. Now the run was so fast I keep going back. So yes, I was running Nightmare Dungeons every 1 to 2 minutes for tier 100. I run level 80. So I literally went from, how many? I literally went from level 80 to level 95 just running Nightmare Dungeons to get my glyphs up. And this is not even the final version. Haven't even gotten my clips up, but the build is already super powerful, as you can see with Makuna, to clear tier 8 with the Infernal Horde. Now before we finish, if you guys have noticed, I have started posting Diablo and also action RPG videos on my second YouTube channel with Majestic Life. This is because I want to spread out the channels and also to focus one category of games on each of the channels. So for the previous channel, because I'm doing Genshin Impact and also Zenless Zone Zero, we'll focus that on the Gacha channel. And on the second channel, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you follow on this channel for the latest action RPG for Path of Exile 2, for Last Epoch, and also for Diablo 4, and all those related games.